Hi, my name is Jill Ronstadt, and I teach AP Biology, Honors Molecular Genetics, and Marine Biology. This is my 16th year of teaching here at Orange Lutheran. My favorite thing I do here is get to work with high school students. They're so much fun, they're hilarious, they're enjoyable, they're just my people. In my classroom, we learn a lot from each other. In my AP Biology class, all of a sudden these lab groups are starting to talk to each other, and they're starting to ask each other questions, and they're starting to go and figure out and solve problems together as an entire class, as opposed to just this one little tiny lab group. They are collaborating all the time and working together, and then I just get to float around and really facilitate that between the desk teaching and just get to ask them questions and guide them in their learning as they're doing some discovery, as they're engaging, as they're collecting data. And so we're just having a much, much bigger collaboration, which is just the best. The brine shrimp lab is one of the very first labs we do, and I like to start with it because it seems simple. They were eggs yesterday, and then the next day they're swimming underneath a microscope, and they're moving underneath a microscope, so that's fun too for them. But what the students are doing is they're learning all about different experimental design, dependent variables, independent variables, a null hypothesis, an alternative hypothesis. So they're learning all these elements to experimental design that they see throughout their entire year. A lot of times don't necessarily know what's gonna happen, and then when they get to see what happens, they get so excited because they get some results and they don't always know what those results are, but they get to figure out what's going on. So in my genetics and in my AP Biology class, we use these micropipettes. Micropipettes measure a small amount of liquid very accurately. And so the students get to use these. These cost a lot of money. What's really neat for our students is most high schools don't have equipment like micropipettes that can be used all the time, and we have a lot of them. We have enough for every single lab group to have actually a couple different sizes. But most high schoolers don't have a thermocycler to go and run PCR, and we get to do really high-level science experiments at a high school level, and our students are doing it, and they're doing really cool stuff with it. Because of Orange Lutheran, students get to see the wonder that is God's creation, and they get to ask a lot of really good questions about how God created the world that He created, and why He created the world that He created, and how that world works, and how the natural world works. And we get to teach them about that, and that's the coolest thing.